Good morning, physical science. Sorry again for the video being a little on the later side this morning. I'm having technical difficulties, but nonetheless, we work through it. I hope you're having a successful time at home with your family and getting work done. Please allow me to help you if you need it by coming to my office hours today at 2:30 to 4. I will share a link onto Google Classroom and you guys can click it and the join my office hours. It's a time for you to get some face-to-face with me, ask me any questions you may have, and just let me know if there's things you're not understanding or whatever. So join me there if you need that. If not, we'll keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to first show you the answers to your assignment from yesterday. Please make sure you have uploaded homework in a timely fashion. You will get dinged for not having it uploaded because I'm going to make sure to go over the homework answers as quickly as possible so that you guys get immediate feedback and can keep moving on. We have a quiz up there today. Please make sure you go on Google Classroom and take that quiz. You will just submit it and the submission comes straight through to me and I will grade it and upload your grade. So that's how this is all working. Please, again, if you have questions about not just about homework and like the content, but if you need help with any of the technological stuff, please join my office hours today from 2:30 to 4. And you can jump in and jump out. You don't have to stay the whole time. Okay, I don't know how clear this is going to be. I'm going to try to show you because this is where I have my answer key. It's not super clear. Let's see if I can clear that up a little bit. Oh, that's better. Okay, so your parts of a chemical equation up here at the top should have been labeled as follows. You should have had the reactants and products labeled. You should have had the coefficients labeled like that: solid, produces or yields, gas, subscript, aqueous. I'm wondering. Okay. For equation A, you were given an equation. For equation B, you were given an equation, and then it asks you to list out the reactants and products for each of those. Let me see if I can clear this up a little bit and get a little closer. So, equation A, the reactants are hydrogen and oxygen. For B, it's magnesium chloride and sodium. The products in A are water or H2O, and the products for B are sodium chloride and magnesium. When it says what do the coefficients tell you about the ratio, if you notice for the products for equation A, you see 2 hydrogen for every 1 oxygen. Look at the coefficients for that. So it's a 2 to 1. 2 hydrogen for every 1 oxygen. You can see that here. See 2 hydrogen for every 1 oxygen. Remember, there's 1 in front. The coefficient 1 is assumed, so 2 to 1. Over here, it's 1 to 2. 1 magnesium chloride for every 2 sodium. Okay, so that's why it says 2 to 1 or 1 to 2. Over here, if it had asked you about the ratio of products, you would have gone to this side. This would have just been 2, and this one would have been 2 to 1. Okay, what's the physical state of the products? Well, it tells you here liquid is the physical state of the water. Over here, you've got aqueous and solid. Okay, and then down here, write the equation A as a sentence. So 2 units of hydrogen gas, combined with 1 unit of gaseous oxygen or oxygen gas produces or yields 2 units of liquid water. That is a way to write equation A as a sentence. Okay, so there was your homework, the answers that we just went over. Now we are going to get into our next set of notes. So we might spend 2 days on this, just depending on how this goes. And I need some feedback from you guys. If you're not understanding something, the only way I can know is if you come to my my office hours and let me know, or if you were to just send me an email or a remind. But today we're going to balance chemical equations, and this is kind of tough. It's kind of like Monday's assignments with the last Friday and Monday's assignments with naming formulas and writing compounds. I'm sorry, writing formulas and naming compounds. It's just you have to think through it. It's kind of like a puzzle. So I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit. All right. So your question for today. Let's see if it'll clear up some here. Not happy. Let me see if it's a dirty lens or something. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Maybe it'll clear up a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So, why do chemical equations need to be balanced is your question. Okay, and your heading is balancing chemical equations. Okay. So, what is a balanced chemical equation? Let's define that. A balanced chemical equation is a chemical equation that have the same number of atoms of each element on both sides of the equation. Okay, so when balancing chemical equations, you are never, ever, ever, say it with me, I can't hear you, but I'm pretending I can, never change the subscripts. Never change the subscripts. Instead, you will change the coefficients. In front of the compounds, needing to be balanced. Okay, so we're going to kind of write out a process here. So these are the steps to balancing chemical equations. Okay, so step one. Step one is write a chemical equation for the reaction. This is like basically write out the problem, okay, in math. Write the chemical equation for the reaction using formulas and symbols. Make sure reactants are on the left and products are on the right. Okay, so reactants are on left, products are on right. Okay, step 2. We're going to count the atoms. In the reactants and products. Okay. Step 3. We are going to choose coefficients that balance the equation. All right, so here's a hint here. Okay, this is a hint. So your hint is generally if there is an even number of an element on one side and an odd number on the other side, place a 2 in front of the compound containing the odd number of atoms. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. Okay, that's your little hint for that. All right, and then step 4. Recheck the numbers of each atom on both sides of the equation. And adjust the coefficients if necessary. Remember, don't ever change. Never change what? Hope you're saying it with me. Never change subscripts. You cannot change the subscripts. Do not change the subscripts. Not ever, not ever, not ever. Those stay the same. The only thing you can adjust is the coefficient. If you change the subscripts, you are changing the compound. So if you change H2O to H4O, no longer water. You cannot do that. Okay? All right, so there are your steps. Now let's do one really fast, but we'll do one together. Okay, so our formula or our chemical equation is NaBr plus Cl2 yields NaCl plus Br2. So the first thing you want to do is you want to list out your different elements. So I have sodium, I have bromine, I have chlorine. So I'm going to write NaBrCl. And I'm going to write it on the, and then I'm going to draw a line down the center for myself because it'll help me see. NaBrCl. You should have both on both sides. How many atoms of sodium do I have here? Oh, that would help if I showed you. So let me move this up because I did what I did and you couldn't see it. Okay, so there's your stuff. Write this out. So NaBr and Cl. and then NaCl and Br. So I'm going to write each one so I can make a list of what we have here. So we have one sodium atom on this side, we have one bromine atom on this side, and we have two chlorine. Okay, going over here, we have one sodium, two bromine, and one chlorine. Are they balanced? 1 and 1, yes. 1 and 2, no. 2 and 1, no. Okay. So now, that was step 1 was writing this. Step 2 was writing our numbers here, step 2. Step 3 is us coming and deciding on some coefficients. So what number can I multiply this by to get 2? Well, I can change this to 2. Okay, so if I put a 2 coefficient out front, then look what happens. I also now have 2 sodium. So now I have 2 sodium, 2 bromine, and 2 chlorine. Well, 2, 2, and 2 don't match 1, 2, and 1. So I'm going to have to come over here and figure out how I can make these 2 and 2. Well, if I just add a 2 coefficient here, I get 2 and 2. So now my formula is balanced. I have 2 NaBr plus Cl2 yields 2 NaCl plus Br2. And I'm done. So that is how you balance a chemical equation. And I really wish I had brought the book home with me. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't. Let me see. You're going to be doing some of these for practice tomorrow. Let me see if I can come up with a couple practices right now. All right. Let's try this together. So here is the equation. We have aluminum plus hydrochloric acid yields AlCl3 plus H2. So that's the first thing I did, was I wrote the equation. Now I'm going to list out my elements. There are 3. Now I'm going to list them out on both sides. Oops, I should have done, you know what? I should have done Al, H, and Cl. So you want them to be the same on both sides so that you can compare. So on this side, I have 1 atom of aluminum, 1 atom of hydrogen, and 1 atom of chlorine. Over here, I have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out how to get these balanced. Well, sometimes these 3s can get kind of funny. So I'm going to actually start with chlorine. So I am going to, if I were to just change this to 3 and put 3 up there, then I end up with 3 H's. And I can't have 3 H's on this side because of this 2 here, because it's going to always be something times 2, and I can't make 3 out of that. So I am actually going to come up with the lowest common denominator here, and I'm going to do 6. So I'm going to multiply each side by 2. So I'm going to put a 2 on this side here, and then I'm going to put, to make this 6, I'm going to put a 3 here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What did I do? That's not what I meant to do. See, this is what's fun about. Let's try something else real fast. We'll do it a different way first. We'll start with the hydrogens because we know we can balance those. So I'm going to pull a 2 here and put a 2 out front. So then that makes this 2 of each, and aluminum still 1. but I've still got 3 over here. So now that's not going to work for me. So I have got to figure out, can I come up with something? And I don't know. See, that's why this is all a mess, because I put 3. No, that's right. See, look, Miss Rowan, seriously, help yourself. Here, we're starting over because Miss Rowan got her brain messed up when she wrote the things backwards. So Al, let's pretend we didn't start, and let's start over. Al plus HCl yields AlCl3 plus H2. Al, HCl. Al, HCl. Okay, there's 1, 1, and 1. And over here, there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the 3 is referencing this. The 2 is referencing this. And that's, I don't know why my brain messed that up, but here we are. Okay, so I immediately know that I have to balance out this 2. So I'm going to try that. And now we're happy, but we still have this problem. So in order to get this happening, I'm going to have to change my aluminum to be, I'm going to have to change the chlorine here to be 3. Well, a 2 in front can't make it 3 because right now it's 2. So I need to make it so that it's at least 3. Well, what do we know that 2s and 3s have in common? They often go together with 6 when you multiply them together. So I'm going to try something different here. I am going to put a 2. I'm gonna make this 6 here for the hydrogen. So I'm going to multiply this by 3. So I'm going to put a 3 here. So 3 times 2 is 6. So now I have 6 hydrogen. How can I make 6 over here? I'm going to put a 6 there. So 6 of those and 6 of those. Okay. Over here, so I still only have 1 aluminum, but I have 3. And I have 6 here. So how can I make this 6? No. Hold on. Hopefully it's still recording. Are you still recording? That's the question. Okay, good. I'm going to multiply this times 2. So now I'm going to have 2 aluminum, and then down here I'm going to have 6 chlorine because I put a 2 in front, so 2 times 3 is 6. The only thing I don't have balanced now, so I have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 here. Now I need to have these 2 balanced. Well, that's an easy fix, so I can put 2 here. So now I have 2 aluminum, 6 hydrogen, 6 chlorine, and it's balanced. So it's 2, 6, 2, 3 here. That was a tough one because you couldn't just put something in front. It affected multiple things. So that's how you would do that. Let's do one more and then I'll let you go and you can do your own. This one will come right from your homework. I'll do this one with you for your homework. It'll be number 1. So it's your homework tomorrow, by the way. N2 plus O2 yields N2O. So that was step 1, and now I'm doing step 2, which is list out my atoms. Okay, we're not balanced because oxygen only has 1 on this side. So in order to get at least up to 2, I'm going to have to multiply, right? Well, when I multiply that, when I put a coefficient of 2 here, it also does it for the n. So now I have 4n. Okay, so we have O's equal. How do I make this equal 4? Oops. Like that. Okay, so now I have 4 So 2N2 plus O2 yields 2N2O. And you're balanced. So that one was an easier one. Okay. All right, that's how you balance chemical equations. If you go in your book, they actually have several examples and several practice problems. You may want to try those out if this was tough for you. But that is your notes for today. Come to my office hours if you need some help.